Hi everyone, Anat Kessler here with a new video tutorial, and today we are making a special pop-up mini album for Halloween. So it's going to have really cool pages with pop-up elements. So all the instructions and all the measurements for all the parts that you need for this mini album are in the link in the description under the video. You can go ahead, grab it, print it out, and then pre-cut all your pieces that you need for the mini album. So let's get started with our binding mechanism. We're going to score it at 1 inch, 1.5, 2, 2 1/4, 2 3/4, 3 1/4, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 4 3/4, 5 1/4, and 5 3/4. So what we're basically making is our binding mechanism, which is going to be the way that we attach the pages to the cover. So these are going to be binding tabs. I'm going to show you in a minute how to fold all those score lines that we made. So we're going to start on one side, and then we're going to fold the first score in a valley fold, and then a mountain fold, and then a valley fold again. So you see there's a little bit of a triangle, and then again we're going to do a valley fold, a mountain fold, and a valley fold again. So basically we're supposed to have little triangles like this. We're going to repeat all the folds in the same way: valley fold, mountain fold, and then valley fold again. So at the end we're supposed to have 4 little triangles, 4 little pyramids. I forgot one score line, the last score line, the 5 3/4, forgot that. Okay, so now we have all the lines that we need. So we're supposed to have 4 pyramids. See, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like this. So now we're going to flip this and glue all the triangles together to form the tabs. So we're going to apply the glue to the inside of our little triangles. The best glue to use is liquid glue. This way you'll be able to wiggle the cardstock into place and make sure that it is properly glued. If you need to move some things, I like it better than double-sided tape. So just glue the 2 sides of the triangle together on all 4 triangles. Just apply glue to one side, then attach the 2 sides together. Always like to burnish it with my bone folder to make sure that it's very, very tight and properly glued together. It's important because these are the tabs that are going to attach the pages to the cover, so we don't want them to be open or not properly glued. Let's glue the last one. Okay. So these are our 4 binding tabs. See? They will be flipped from one side to the other when we go through the pages of the mini album. Next we can go ahead, put that aside, and go ahead and make the cover. So like I said, the link to all the measurements for all the pieces is in the description under the video. Just go ahead, it's for free, click on the link, print down all the measurements, and then you can cut them and make this mini album. So for the cover we need 3 pieces of chipboard, 2 large pieces and 1 piece for the spine. We're going to attach them on the paper, but not close together like this. We're supposed to leave a gap, and this gap is basically going to be the joint of the cover. this is what will allow it to open and close. If we attach the chipboard pieces close together, there will be no place for them to move. So basically the rule of thumb is that the gap that you leave between the chipboard pieces is at least wide as 2 pieces of chipboard, more or less. So you can measure, but I'm eyeballing it. So if you can fit 2 pieces of chipboard into the gap, you're fine. Then I'm going to make a score line around the edges of the chipboard just to teach the paper where it needs to go. And then I'm folding all the edges of the paper around the chipboard, not gluing it, just folding them. We're going to wrap them around the cover. Next, before we add the glue, we need to cut the corners. Now I'm cutting the corners, and you can see that I'm leaving a little bit of a gap of paper between the edge and the corner. That will help us create really professional looking corners. So don't cut the paper all the way to the corner. Leave a little tiny bit. So we're going to start with gluing the top and the bottom flaps of paper. Again, use liquid glue. It's very important. It adds strength to the cover and helps you really make everything nice and tight. If you need to move things, you won't have a problem. So now insert the little tiny paper gaps inside and glue the side flap. I'm going to show you how it looks. Inside like this with your bone folder or your finger, and then add the glue and attach the side. Now wait a few minutes until it's dry before folding the cover, only in 90 degrees, not more. Next, we're going to attach the binding mechanism to the cover. So simply apply glue to the back side of the mechanism and then center it on the spine between the top and the bottom edges and between the right and left gaps of the cover of the chipboard pieces. Everything should be centered this way. Make sure it's completely dry and attached before you fold the cover. Then bring your 2 pieces to cover the inside of the cover, your pattern papers, and just attach them to the right and the left inside of the cover. Of course, I'm using Halloween papers for this Halloween pop-up mini album, but if you want to make this mini album for other occasions or holidays, of course, just change the papers and you can customize it to any occasion or holiday that you want. So once you have all the pieces glued and the cover is dry, the glue is dry, then you can fold the cover again, only 90 degrees, and you'll see that it works properly. Just helping it with my bone folder, and the cover looks great. Next step is to attach the pages. Again, you have all the measurements in the cutting guide that you can download from a link in the description under the video. We have 8 double pages, and we're going to start attaching them by applying glue to the left side of the first binding tab, aligning the page with the tab, and then attach the tab to the page. Make sure it's straight and it reaches all the way to the bottom of the tab where it attaches with the mechanism. So we're going to bind one pattern paper and one black cardstock page. Next, we're going to apply glue to the right side of the binding tab and the back side of the page that we've just attached, and we're going to attach them back to back while the binding tab is in the middle, in between them, so it's like a little sandwich. And then we're going to repeat that with all the other pages. So we're going to apply glue to the left side of the second binding tab, and then attach the page. Of course, all the pages need to be aligned. They're all the same size, so they're supposed to be exactly aligned with one another. And then apply glue to the right side of the binding tab and the back side of the page that you've just attached. And then the black page is going to go back to back with the binding tab in between. So we're going to continue that with the other two pages. I'm using Graphic 45 pages, and these little squares of pattern paper were already on the page, so it was easy to cut them. You have all the measurements, so you can use whatever papers you have in your stash to make your pattern paper pages, and all the pop-up pages are going to be on the black pages, on the black cardstock pages that we're going to build. Okay, so this is the last page that we're going to attach, and then the base of our mini album is going to be ready. And the next part, part 2, we're going to build all the pop-up pages for this mini album. So I hope you like this video, part 1. These are all the pages that we did with the cover. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video so you won't miss anything. And next week we're going to have part 2 of this mini album with all the pop-up mechanisms on the pages. So I'll see you then.